Michael, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing really good. How was your day today?
It was good, busy.
Yeah.
Busy. My lady has Fridays and Saturdays off, so it was her day off, but we've been going all day.
So today's Friday for people that don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah, today's Friday.
Cool.
Yeah.
What normally when I invite people to come over to the podcast, we like to give out where like their biography, a
Okay.
small thing of, where you come from. That way people can get to know you. You're cool with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Right on, man. So where were you born?
So I was born in Ventura at VCMC.
Oh,
So
wow.
a local hospital and raised out here in Oxnard.
Your family lived here in Oxnard?
Yeah.
My son
Yeah.
was born in the same hospital.
Oh, really?
That's pretty cool.
What year?
I don't know. He's about 32, 33 years old
Oh,
now.
okay. So 92 maybe the same year as me.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his birthday?
You're putting me on the
No,
spot.
like I want the day. No, yeah, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're around the same age.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you were born in Ventura County Hospital, and then you were raised here in Oxnard. Do you remember like what school you went to or anything that happened during that time?
yeah. Actually, being born in the Ventura Hospital was a pretty big story. For my life, very, everybody like when you were born is
You
like important, but
you want to jump into it?
but yeah, yeah. So my mother had four miscarriages before me.
Oh, damn.
So and even me up until I was born, like the doctors and the nurses were like, yeah, this is gonna be another failure.
Are you an only child?
No, after me, my mom had three other children.
But you were the
So,
first.
but I was the
She
first.
was trying
After
to have a baby.
I was the fifth attempt.
Yeah. So
I
she was
have
trying to have a baby, and
yeah.
then but they didn't work out.
They didn't work out. Four
Wow.
miscarriages. So and to my knowledge and from what my mom's told me, they were all boys. So I would have had four
Wow.
older brothers. And a lot of the times I think about like, damn, how would I have been like being the baby, like and then also like grateful that I was the first because my mom had three other kids, and then if she would have stopped at me, then
Yeah.
she wouldn't have had them. So
Or she would have given up after the
yeah,
second or third, say, "Oh, this
yeah.
ain't gonna work for me."
Yeah, yeah. So up until I was born, everybody was thought I was gonna be uh, a no go. So I've been a fighter since I was
Since you
born.
were born, huh?
Yeah, and my mom, I thank her a lot because she's shown me just through that, like her resilience and not being willing to give up because she did have her doubts, and my grandmother too, like she's a woman of faith. My abuela, very much believes in God and Jesus, and she was like, they don't know. She's like, don't
Yeah.
listen to them. They don't know. Only God knows if your son's gonna be born. And look here I am, 32
Man,
years later.
good thing your mom was a fighter,
Yeah,
perseverance. Get you go through life, you get a hurdle, you jump over
yeah,
it and keep mowing, right?
yeah. My grandma's like 4'6", but she's a feisty one. She's a feisty one. So,
Nice.
so she's got that fight in her too, and she raised my grandmother raised me while my mom
Yeah.
was working. So yeah, I was
So you were raised in Oxnard. Were you here all your life living in Oxnard?
yeah, I went out to Huntington Beach for a bit.
Okay.
But
You
as
came
you'll learn, my family is very important to me. I lived out there a few months for training for MMA, and in 2015 to early 2016, and then my grandfather like went in a coma. He got
Oh,
really
shoot.
sick, went in a coma, and I had to I just dropped everything, paid that month's rent. I'm like, I'm gone.
Do you remember how old you were when that happened?
2016, 92 down. You're gonna test my math right now. Eight
Well,
plus six. I was 24.
you were 24.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Do you remember like what's one of your first memories that you have? Like maybe you were 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. Any of those
Um.
coming up, or
Yeah. Well, I remember being mean to my little brother.
you were mean to your little brother?
Yeah. Yeah. I was the typical older brother,
Yeah.
and I guess I was enjoying the perks of being like the only one, and then my the only grandchild, and then my brother was born, and then like
How old? What age difference was you between you and your brother?
almost three.
So 3 years.
Nearly, yeah, like a
Okay.
little over two and a half, but yeah, I was like 2 grades above him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did which school did you go to? Do you remember the school that you went to, like first
I
grade,
I
kindergarten?
went to Little Vikings, like Head Start for pre-K. I went to Parkview for kindergarten
Hmm.
through fifth grade. EO Green.
Do you remember any stuff that happened during your school time?
I used to get picked on a lot.
You used to get
Yeah,
picked on.
yeah,
Wow, you got bullied.
yeah. I got bullied, and I was the type of person that was like, I would just ha ha ha, like laugh
You
it off.
used comedy
But
to get out of it.
yeah, and
Okay.
I was I've been like a low jokester, and I don't take myself like super serious, even though I do what I do.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of that has to do with like how I grew up. I wasn't a really confrontational person, which would make no sense because
Well, it kind of makes sense because being bullied. I mean, it sucks, right?
yeah,
And bully should not exist, but it does have a benefit where if you are bullied, you're able to learn from it and overcome it in a certain way or another.
I'm grateful. I'm
So it
grateful that I
kind
was
of
bullied.
it gives you a little bit of a backbone,
Yeah,
to kind of push back at a
yeah,
certain time.
yeah,
So in a sense, I'm not saying it's good and it should happen. I'm not saying, but if it does happen, people should try to make it build more character so you can
yeah.
have that energy to push back.
It reminds me of like people that have hand sanitizer on them all the time. They want to be clean, but then like if you're always clean, your body will never know what it's like to fight off like
Exactly.
illness, which like being mentally, physically abused it's not cool, but I mean it's something that we have to endure to come out the other side and
Yeah.
to for us to know like our inner strength. So me, I'm never gonna be like the woe is me because I was bullied and victimized myself because it made me a stronger person,
Yeah. Well,
So
pressure makes diamonds,
yeah, yeah, it does.
right?
So yeah,
Cool. So you're going to school, you're getting bullied. Do you remember at what point you decided to make the shift to from being bullied to pushing back?
fifth grade,
It
I had
was
my
fifth
first
grade?
fight. Yeah, got my first fight.
Was it somebody that was bigger and taller than you and just pushing you around or what?
He was a little guy like me, but
Or
he
he was
was
just talking shit all the time?
little guy, but yeah, ran his mouth, and he was a little more like physically intimidating, and yeah, he was related to a boxer, to a well-known boxer. So he would rub it in and stuff, and I think he was playing kickball or something. We were doing something like in the playground,
Uh-huh.
and I just like we played. My group and his group would play, so we were like just around each other, but I didn't really like him.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened, but we got in a fight, and I don't think I won. I didn't win.
You got your butt kicked.
I had a bloody nose.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then after that, you make a switch in your brain saying I got to do something about this because this shit can't happen? Or
Now my dad put me in boxing.
when you got home,
Uh,
you told your dad.
yeah,
What
yeah.
did your
So
dad tell you? Do you remember?
no, not exactly. Something along the lines that I had to like toughen up and learn how to defend myself because
Okay.
life wasn't gonna be easy.
Okay. So he kind of gave you the lesson. Hey, you got to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go take you to learn how to box.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna give you a fighting chance because if you're gonna
Yeah.
stand up for yourself, then you better have something to back in.
Right.
So he put me in boxing for a little bit, and I then then come like sixth grade, everybody thought it was cool to like, oh, let's go body blows, or they would peer pressure students and to do stuff, and like I wasn't like a like it was rare for me to like really stand up for myself. Like I said, I only had gotten in one fight.
Uh
So when they peer pressured me to like go body blows, I'm like, all right, well, I know a little bit of boxing from
huh.
from last year, and like I did it for a few months, and then my dad bought like a bag stand, a speed bag, and a heavy bag. So
Was your dad into boxing too, or he just liked to watch the sport or what?
nah, he was on the streets
Okay.
doing this thing, and but I did hear from family, from his side of the family that he used to knock people out.
So he was
He's
street
a street
smart,
fighter. He's a street
street
fighter.
smart street
Yeah.
fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, he would get in fights and knock people out. So I knew. I knew he knew how to scrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you do that through your in your sixth grade. Did you ever get into any more fights after that, or was just more like a sparring during school?
Yeah, it was more like for fun. So I did that
Yeah.
in sixth grade, and I remember I did well for myself. People were like cheering for me, so I was like, all right, well,
You
I
felt
know that.
good.
Yeah, if it made me feel good and like
Yeah.
accepted. And then like in seventh grade, eighth grade, like that was still like the trend, like the boys would do at lunchtime or something.
Did
Just
Did you notice the bullying stopped
yeah,
after the sixth
yeah, I
grade?
did.
After the other kids saw that, hey, this guy can fight. Let's not pick on him.
Yeah. Yeah, so that happened, and then I got real ballsy because I had a my boy. I don't want to put his name out
No,
there,
you can keep it
but
generic.
he's told my family because he's kind of like a family friend. He knows some of my other relatives, so he's told my relatives like he stood up for me. So he's a big guy, Samoan dude, and he used to get picked on all the time because he was a gentle giant.
Yeah.
So there was this one guy who's now a friend of mine, but this guy was like the class bully,
Okay.
like the sixth grade bully. And at that point, like people were repping crews and gangs, so nobody messed with him, nobody stood up to him. So this guy was like pushed him down, kicking him.
Wow.
Other kids were doing it, and I've known this gentle giant since either pre-K or kindergarten. I know him like basically my whole life. So, we're he's getting his butt kicked, and I got in there and I'm like, hey, no, leave him alone.
So you're pushing
And this
people
is
away and stuff.
yeah, why I got in the mix because everybody was just watching,
Yeah.
standing by, and like laughing, or some people were like, "Ah," like, but nobody did anything.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know this guy, so I stepped in there. Like something came over me, I stepped in there and I was like, "Hey, leave him alone." And the guy's like, "What?" Like, so do you know? Like, basically, you know who I am? And I was like, "Leave him alone." And I just like stood there and
Stood your
locked
ground.
eyes. I stood my ground. I locked eyes with him, and then the teacher started coming out because we were lining up to go back to our classes.
Uh huh.
And he just like looked at me like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Wow.
And after that, people started respecting me because they were like,
Cool.
"Damn, like he'll stand up to this guy." Like I never messed with me and nothing.
Did he ever come back and look for you later on, or no?
No, we just became friends through a mutual friend, through a
That's
mutual
cool.
friend of mine. Like we started becoming friends. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Most bullies they react to pushback. You know, if you push back, they kind of
yeah,
go, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. So that's
yeah.
cool. So then you get out of you get out of the sixth grade. You go into junior high. Do you keep your boxing going at that point or no?
No, no.
When did you
So
stop boxing?
Well, I don't know. Like on the streets, I did,
No,
I did.
no,
Like I said,
I mean like going
like
to the train to the gym and stuff.
like I only did it a few months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Just to kind of get your confidence up.
yeah, because my dad was taking me, but I believe he got locked up like little after I
Yeah.
kind of got the rhythm of it, so it was like who's gonna take me, kind of thing,
So
and
your family kind of got a little discombobulated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to take me, so I just, hit the bag at home just for fun, just messing around.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like body blows in school. So like, I knew how to punch and how to do some basic things, but I didn't really get that experience that I wanted. But I really liked it. It
Yeah.
was it was it was fun.
Yeah.
And
So then you finished your junior high. Did you go?
yeah. So I went to high school. I was playing football in junior high, and I kind of like shifted my priorities. But then I got to high school, and then everybody's stretching, but I wasn't. And they wanted me to gain weight. I wasn't like a particularly big guy. I was short, but I wasn't like really round. And they wanted me to gain weight, and I was like, "Nah, I don't really want to gain weight."
Did you ever get into physical like lifting weights or jogging or running? Did you exercise during your junior high or years or
Nah, nah, I was a couch potato. I used to watch TV, so I was like kind of pudgy, but they wanted me to like
you
be
were pudgy?
really. I was pudgy.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
You don't.
yeah.
I mean, I just know you.
Oh,
You look
okay. No,
freaking.
no, yeah, I was
You look
pudgy.
mean and lean, man.
Yeah, yeah. like we would have to be home like right after school, so we would
Yeah.
stay home, and my mom would go to Costco and Sam's and buy all the fruit roll-ups and Rice
Nice.
Krispie treats and chips
Just chill in
and
front of the TV and
it
munch.
was paradise. I would just watch TV and then eat, but I eventually I had to kind of like break that
Yeah.
because that's not gonna do you good at the
Do
end.
Do you remember anything that might have happened to you during your junior years? Any more altercations that stick in your head, or anything that shifted you from your philosophy of the way you see life, or anything, or was it a pretty straightforward?
Um, I had to grow up really fast as a kid,
Is that
and
because
I
your dad got locked up, or
yeah. So my dad was in and out of jail pretty much my whole life. Him and my parents had a very unstable relationship, so
that's gonna be hard on
it
the
was
kids?
yeah, it was hard on us. My mom would tell me when I was really small. I don't remember how old I was, but I want to say like 5, 6 was why I kind of remember. She was like, "You're the man of the house," and my mom had the help of my grandparents who lived with us, and they still live with my mom. So they helped raise us, but yeah, like it was pretty difficult for my mom. She had to like maintain the house and like when I was like I said, when she told me I was the man of the house, like I felt like I had to step up, so I would help her clean. I would,
Cool.
try to like get my brothers under control
Get them ready for
and
school.
do a
Push them
lot.
to do the right thing.
Try to set a good example for them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And so you finish junior high, and then you start your high school. Was that like a shift in your personality at that point in high school, or did you kind of hang out with the same friends, same crowd, same activities after school, or did you shift to something different?
High school thing like things became different and like a lot of the friends that I had was started like turning into gang members and like,
So there was like a
smoking
fork.
weed,
So it
drinking
was like a
and
fork in the road, and you're just like, do I go this way? Do I go that way?
yeah. Yeah, so
Which route did you take?
well, I was playing football, but I was hanging out with the homies.
Okay.
And then I signed up for a weight training class, which ended up being wrestling. And I remember like the first day they took us in the wrestling room, I did some like drills or something, but the coach was like, "Hey, Reyes is gonna be a stud." So I was like, "Oh shit!"
So you saw some
And
natural
like
talents that you had.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and like I said, football was outgrowing me. So, literally, so I was like, oh, well, at least here, like I could be in weight brackets and, wrestle kids my own size.
Yeah. And was that like right in the ninth grade, or did you do it
Yeah,
in your tenth or
ninth
eleventh
grade.
grade? Right into ninth grade.
Yeah, I did it all of high school. So,
Wrestled.
yeah, I wrestled.
That's a really good base for your profession, man.
Yeah, it is. It's the best, the
I
number
think
one.
so. I think so because
You see it.
boxing and jujitsu, that's all cool. You need all
Yeah,
those other tools, but the wrestling, that's like the
yeah,
base for an MMA fighter.
yeah,
Which to people that might not know, you're a professional MMA
yeah.
fighter, correct?
Yes, yes, I am.
So when did you get into practicing for joining the MMA?
So I wrestled 4 years in high school, and one of my friends, my best friend at the time, he started training for MMA like right after wrestling season ended, and he had been trying to get me to go for a long time, but I was like, no, I'm gonna go wrestle in college, and then then I ended up going to VC, which didn't have a wrestling program. So I was like, I'll go a semester here and then go to Mount Sac. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah,
I was gonna go
somewhere.
to yeah, somewhere. I was gonna go to a school called Mount Sac. I was
Yeah.
gonna, switch over. And they had been trying to get me to go. One day we were gonna go to the mall, and I've told this story a bunch of times, but I genuinely thought we were gonna go, but we were dressed in like shorts, and they were like, I don't know, they seemed something off about them, and these are my two best friends, and I get in the car, and we make like a wrong turn, and I'm like, dude, where are we going? The mall's like that way, and then we turned into this like industrial area, and then we pulled up to a gym,
Oh
and
wow.
then my JV coach from my freshman year came out, and he's like, "Oh, do you have shorts? Do you have?" I believe we were gonna go to a wrestling practice at my high school for freestyle. Right after going to the mall, so I had my wrestling shoes in there. So he's like, "You got this, you got that." I'm like, "No, no." He's like, "You got wrestling shoes?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, I got those." And he's like, "All right, well, bring them in." And yeah, I practiced that day.
So they
And
tricked you.
yeah, they tricked me. Fucking
Oh shit.
assholes. Yeah, they got me into it.
That is funny.
Yeah, they tricked me into it, and then yeah, well, like I said, it was a coach, and he was like a very intense coach. So he's like, "You got your wrestling shoes, or you got your boxing gloves, you got this, you got your wrestling shoes." I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "All right, well, let's go, let's get on the mat." So I'm like,
He
not
just
gonna say no.
well, he's just
So
like imposing his energy on you. Let's
yeah,
come on,
so I'm
we're
like, "All
gonna do
right, get your
this.
ass on the mat." All right, okay. And yeah, I got into it, and I fell in love with it. And that week, I had my first fight.
Wow. That in
That
1 week.
weekend, yeah.
Holy shit.
So my friend was getting ready for a fight,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I go there to support him, help him warm up and stuff. And then the my coach
Hey, we
was
signed you
like,
up for a battle for a fight.
he's like, "How much do you weigh?" I'm like, "About, I think I was like 138." I was like 138.
Hmm.
He's like, "Oh, perfect. You're fighting." I'm like, no." And he's like, "Yeah, you are." He's like, "You
Wow.
got your mouthpiece." And I was gonna help my friend warm up. So yeah, I had my mouthpiece, I had my gloves and everything. And yeah, I had my first fight. I did knew 3 4 days of jujitsu, uh,
He just
4 days of learning how to kick a bag,
when you
and
were
then
doing wrestling in high school, did you go to any like major competitions where you really got tested or you got some awards or you won some tournaments or
yeah, so I won. I was league champ. My senior, and
nice.
my junior, my senior year. I qualified for CIF both years, both my junior senior year, and masters my senior year, which is right before state. And I made it to like the top 12, but they only took like 10 top 10.
Yeah.
So
You're pretty good then.
yeah, yeah, I did. I once I get into something,
Yeah.
and I'm passionate about it, I go all in. So I when I started wrestling, I did wrestling in the winter, and then in the spring for freestyle and Greco.
Do you know what ADD means?
Yeah.
ADD, attention deficit disorder. Do you have
Uh-huh.
a little bit of that?
No.
No, cuz
No,
no,
does
cuz
it
I
sound
do.
like it?
No, cuz I
Uh,
do. And the
okay.
reason why I'm asking you that is because you say you hyper focus when you learn something.
No, I
And that's
don't.
part of one of the things that people with ADHD have is that it's hard for them to focus on everything like school and
Yeah.
stuff. But when they find something that they love, man, it's like a hyper focus. You
Yeah.
dream it, you sleep it, you everything you're doing during the day, it's all thinking about that one task that you want to do. So
Yeah.
when you said that, I said, "Oh, maybe he's got
Nah,
a little bit
man,
of what I have."
I'm the opposite. I'm
Mm.
like, my mind's everywhere. So
Well, that's it. That's
I'm my
attention
own.
deficit because you're always
Yeah.
going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what I got.
Yeah,
Yeah, so my brother does have that, but he's like intense.
yeah,
Like he's everywhere, bouncing everywhere. And my godson, he's just like him, and I'm like refresh. It refreshes my memory. I'm like,
yeah.
dude, that's how you were.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's like that's something that's good and bad. Bad if you don't figure it out, but if you figure it
yeah,
out, you can hyper focus on something you love and freaking excel because you're going to be way
yeah,
better than everybody
yeah. Well,
else.
Elon Musk is like,
He has Asperger's, which is a form of
yeah,
ADHD.
yeah.
So,
So
and
look
look
at
at
him.
him,
Yeah,
freaking building rockets that land
genius,
themselves.
genius, crazy,
Yeah,
crazy brain power.
yeah. So then they trick you into going to this gym,
Hmm.
and then they a week later, after a little bit of jujitsu training and all your wrestling that you have, you're in the octagon.
Yeah.
Shit, what is your feeling when you step into that octagon for a real fight, not just training?
It was nerve-wracking. I've never felt it. I can't say I didn't feel it because wrestling competition is pretty high stakes, and they have like this big light, and it shines down on your mat. So
Yeah, yeah,
so
but with MMA, you have that freaking cage. I
yeah,
mean, they're not gonna let you die and stuff there, but
yeah,
the
is
physical aspect of having that cage, saying, "Oh shit, where do I run? There's no place to
yeah,
run," so you have to
yeah,
like fight.
yeah. It's a mentally,
I can
it's
imagine.
intense because yeah, you feel like an animal being locked into a cage.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's like we were talking before. It's like playing chess, but with high level martial arts, like
High consequences if you don't
high
figure it out.
consequences. Yeah.
So then, was it a 3 ring fight that you were gonna fight? I mean, a
Three.
three round fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 3 round fight, and it was actually in a boxing ring.
Yeah. Were
Yeah.
you staying in good shape at the time?
Y-
From your like when you stopped wrestling in high school, up until that point, were you still doing exercise and cardio and stuff like that?
yeah. I
Okay.
haven't. Besides having injuries, I haven't stopped doing martial arts since I started wrestling in ninth grade.
Yeah.
Well, that
So
was 2006.
so talk to me about your first fight. How did that go?
I did good. I used my wrestling. I took him down. I had my hands, pieced him up a little bit. I got hit, and
Did he kick you any times or punch you or anything?
he kicked me. I was like, oh, this is weird.
It's always
I was
shit
like,
that hurt.
okay, now I'm going in, and then he had me in a guillotine and a triangle, like maybe two or three submissions
Yeah.
between those two submissions.
Were you able to get out of them?
Yeah, well, I was barely breathing, but yeah, I got out of it in the second and third, and I ended up winning the
Wow.
decision. So yeah, it was cool. It was an experience, but
When it was over, we like, holy shit, I just did it.
yeah, yeah, I was like, man, this is fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, and then those were like smoker fights, so they weren't like sanctioned fights. You didn't
Yeah.
have to get like a license or anything
That didn't go through your record or
or
anything like that.
medical work. No, so yeah, I did a couple smoker fights, and then there's an organization called CAMOS, California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, and they were like the legit amateur circuit. So I started fighting in camo, and that was totally different. Like
When you went to that gym that they tricked you into going, is that the gym that you kept
yeah,
working
yeah,
on?
knuckleheads boxing and MMA.
Where are they at?
They are off Main Street in
Ventura?
Ventura.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
and I also train here in Oxnard at West Coast Jiu Jitsu. So and that was a gym uh that I had been wanting to at for a while, but now now I cross train
Yeah.
at those two gyms, and I've been at West Coast for about 10 years.
Cool,
But
man.
I started at Knuckleheads, and I'm still there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you from that one point where they trick you, then you go do that fight. How long did you keep training until you actually signed up true MMA with with uh with all the regulations that they put you through? Was it like a
Um,
month, couple of years,
I'd have to look, but no, it wasn't even a year.
couple of months?
I think I was still 18 when I had my first amateur fight.
And who got you into the MMA? Your same coach?
Yeah, yeah. So
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 he
my
knew you
coach,
were he knew where he wanted to take you,
yeah,
right? To get into the MMA and be a like professional MMA fighter.
yeah,
And so a couple of months after he tricked you, he got you signed up and everything.
yeah. A
Yeah.
few months down the line, then he was like, "All right, well, you got to do this and that, blood work and medicals, physical and whatnot, so they can approve them, to take these fights." And yeah, I had my first fight, and I knocked the dude out. So then, and he was from a big camp with the guy that had the gym. I'm trying to think of his name, but
Was this the first MMA sanctioned fight that you're
yeah,
talking about?
yeah. So he was from a big name gym, Dan Henderson's gym.
Okay.
I don't know the gym. I can't think of the gym, but Dan Henderson, which is a legend, it was his gym that this guy came out of, and I was like, we were both 18, so fresh, and he looked like he had wrestled or done jujitsu. He kind of looked like a grappler type guy,
Were you
and
still in the 138 pound weight?
135s. So they
135?
they didn't have. I currently fight at 125s,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrestled at 125s all 4 years. But when I got into the amateur circuit, the lowest weight they had was 35, so I went up a weight class.
Okay.
Yeah, I went up like 10 pounds. So
So so did
uh,
at that point after the 8 months of training, did you pick up a lot of jiu-jitsu and other skills like more technical boxing?
yeah, yeah, I felt a lot better, a lot more confident to throw kicks, punches, and then incorporate my wrestling with all that, and avoid getting choked because I wrestlers are good like the pressure, but if you don't know how to get out of submissions, then you might do a move that you think you're gonna benefit from, but you're
And
actually
it just locks you more.
yeah, it just locks you in more.
So jujitsu is more a skill of learning how to get away from difficult situations when you're grappling or wrestling. Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Well, wrestling and boxing, I feel are the two combat sports where you're constantly trying to fight for who's dominating. Like you always want to dominate. Where jujitsu, like you could kind of play your guard
Play possum,
or play possum and then gotcha.
right?
Like type of stuff. But wrestling, you're just constantly like going at it. Because if you're on bottom, you want to get up. If you're on top, you want to make sure this guy doesn't get up, and you want to score additional points. So it's just a nonstop battle. So they're different, and I have appreciation for both of them because now I incorporate that type of mindset with my MMA. So now my strikes got to be like a little more elusive, and maybe I'm backing up, and like with jujitsu, I'm kind of giving you
You're
like
setting the trap.
come
See,
in.
you're
I'm
setting
setting
the
the
trap.
trap. Now I can start setting up traps and thinking steps ahead. So and wrestling's just go go go
So
go.
is it fair to say that wrestling is more of a like a power game, trying to do submissions and stuff, and jiu-jitsu is more of a mental game where you're trying to trick your opponent into making a move where you can attack him or counterattack him, or you think
Yeah,
it's
I think it's equally both because I can't say wrestling's not like they call it chain wrestling, so you go from one move to another. One of my coaches, he used to say every move has a counter and every counter has a move.
so you're trying to get it
So,
to a certain point.
yeah, but that's how wrestling is move counter, move counter. Where jiu-jitsu is like, all right, move let me get some space, let me work on this, but to think, like little adjustments where
Mhm.
wrestling is like there's no little adjustments, you're just going.
You're just reacting to
Yeah.
a
And
reaction.
and you want to get like your instincts so quick that every move you're doing is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
And all this while you're getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, all this while
Holy shit.
somebody your way at least,
Yeah, no, but
but
still,
yeah.
it could. I don't think with especially with jujitsu. I mean, weight difference doesn't have anything to do with it. It's more of
Yeah.
what you can do and what you can do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. I mean, I'm not a fighter, but I've heard that jujitsu. A lot of the way you use it is you use your opponent's
Waiting.
balance and weight
Yeah.
to your benefit.
Mhm.
So if you're fighting against a bigger, taller person, well, that's going to cost you because
Yeah.
I'm still gonna kick your ass because I know how your body works, and I'm gonna make it to where it does what I want it to do.
Yeah.
Is that how?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've gone into some confrontations
yeah,
where it's like no, size doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah, so
It's the skill. It's
it's a
what you
skill
know.
and
It's the tools you
yeah.
have.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. So
Mhm.
you mentioned that you have kids.
Yeah, I have two kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boy and a
One
girl, or boys or girls,
a girl and a boy. My daughter Aria and then my son MJ Michael Jr.
were you already fighting when you started your family?
Oh yeah, there's 2.5 and 1.5. So um I had a fight like maybe 3 weeks after my daughter was born.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she was like fresh out the oven, and like my lady was still recovering from having a baby, and
To
I
have a
went to
fight.
Miami, yeah, and I put down my dog right before,
Oh
like
shit.
literally right before my flight, my dog like
So your emotions were freaking all out of whack
all crazy,
with the
but I
dog being gone, the baby just
yeah
being born, and now you have to fly somewhere.
yeah I
How did
had
you
to fly
do?
to Miami and I won.
You won that.
Yeah,
Oh, with
I
all that
used it to
pressure.
my advantage. Yeah,
With all that pressure.
yeah, pressure
That's
makes
wild.
diamonds.
Hey, you
Yeah.
got it.
Uh-huh.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
And so does your wife like to go watch you fight, or she
Oh
rather not see
yeah.
it, or
She's
she's
as involved in it. She's probably
she's your
as
best
in it as I
cheerleader?
am. As I am. She's my cheerleader, my manager, my
Nice.
nutritionist.
Oh, she's involved
Yeah,
in your
we're
sport.
we're partners, and
Nice.
not just as
In life, but
intimate
also in
partners,
the
but like in fighting. So
in
she does it up. She's my biggest supporter. So
does she push you?
yeah, yeah. She tells me the things I don't want to hear.
But things you need to
the
hear.
things I need to hear. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks.
No, it's good.
Well, I mean, you must know. You know,
Yeah,
you're
I know,
married,
because
right?
I am married, and
Yeah,
I know people that are married to the wrong type of wife, where
yeah,
instead of making them, pushing them to be better than what they think they are, they hold them back.
yeah.
Sounds like you have a wife that pushes you to
Nah,
be a
she
better
pushes
version
me.
of
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in if it wasn't for her.
That's very cool, man. It's good
Yeah,
to hear.
yeah. So she's been in it. You know, we started dating when I was 19. So like
That's
soon
a whole
after,
that's your whole career.
soon after I started my career, we started dating, and I kept her away for like not go to practice. Like it was just like, oh, I gotta keep that separate, like because I didn't want it to make me weak, and I had seen like for through friends and other people like what it would do like
Yeah.
when they're in the wrong relationships and their girl like kind of takes them away from wrestling or takes them away from fighting
Well,
and
that's where I tell
distracts
you
you.
you married the wrong person that drags you down instead of
Yeah,
elevating you.
yeah.
And so
So
you see that, well, like you
yeah,
said, with your friends, that the girlfriends are telling, "Why are you doing that?" Look at yourself. You shouldn't be fighting, and then they lose interest in something that they probably love and would probably going to excel, but the wrong partner kind of pushes them away from it.
yeah,
So I'm glad you found a good wife.
yeah, yeah. Me too.
How old is your son?
He is 1.5, so they're 361 days apart. They're not even a year
Yeah.
apart. Yeah. So,
Are you already showing them how to stay in shape?
my daughter's been like copying me, like when I stretch or like do an exercise.
Cool.
She'll like try to copy me. My son does that now, and they both been at the gym. I have a photo like I was training for a fight like right after my daughter was born,
Yeah.
and yeah, there was the photos where she's like a week old at the
Oh
gym.
wow.
Yeah, at the gym while I'm sparring, and she's grown up there, and she's more of a girly girl, so she could do that, but she understands like what she's seen.
Yeah.
She was watching me today spar,
That's cool.
and my son, he's a little savage. He loves it. Like he's into it. He'll watch it. Like my daughter will be on like watching Baby Shark or something
Yeah.
now, and my son's just like into it.
Wow.
And now I bought him a little punching bag, and he picks it up, slams it, starts grounding and pounding. I haven't showed him any of that.
Wow. He's seeing his daddy. He sees
Sees
his
it and
daddy when
he
he's
copies it.
practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like once I saw him doing it on his own, I'm like, oh dang! I'm like, okay, this is how you do it, son. I'm like, you want to pinch the bag, posture up, and then start swinging on him. So and then
Oh, teaching him technique. That's good.
yeah, and he'll watch me, and then he'll do it because he would like punch like kind of
Yeah.
smack it. I'm like, no, make a
Well,
fist.
it's good. It's good that you're doing that, because it's going to teach your give him a good start for knowing how to defend himself,
Yeah,
and also hopefully the show them the discipline that people need to know that they have a power, but they need to restrain it and only use it when they really need to.
yeah,
Which is good.
yeah,
So do you think are you still fighting professional fights now? Then
yeah.
when's your next fight coming up?
Hopefully early next year.
Oh, cool.
I fought in Japan earlier this year.
How did that go? Tell me about
That
it.
was so cool
Was that your first
being
time being
out.
out of the states?
No, well, I went to Mexico, and then one time we went to Monterrey for a fight. So I'd been there, travel for fighting over there, but that's just south of the border. Um,
When you go to Japan, do you have to go a couple of days before so you can acclimate to the new time zone
yeah, yeah. So I
and the
got there.
altitude and wherever you're gonna fight?
Yeah, I got there like maybe Sunday or Monday, and then the fight was on Saturday.
So
So
like a week.
I was there for like 5.5 days like before I fought there. So yeah, the jet lag didn't hit me till like the day of the fight.
Oh
I
shit!
was like, oh, what the hell? I had felt good all week,
You're
and
probably
I'm like, oh,
running.
I didn't hit it because we were like almost 24 hour.
You were running on adrenaline,
Yeah,
and then it ran
well,
out.
and then then like everything hit me like, whoa, what the heck's going on? I remember waking up that morning like, what happened? And it was at a higher weight, so I didn't really have to cut weight. So like it wasn't the weight cut that made me feel weird. So I knew it wasn't that. And I woke up and I was like, oh no, I don't feel good. And then I was like, "Dude, I think this is the jet lag that people are talking about." And I've heard like for some people when they go travel, it's not like till days later that they feel it. But not to make excuses, but I didn't win that fight. I fractured my ankle in the
Did you
beginning
fracture
of
it
it.
during the fight or did you
Yeah,
fracture
during the
during
fight.
practice?
During the fight,
What
I threw
what
a few
round was it?
kicks, like round one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was done. I was done right after I fractured it because I had been suffering from back pain since 2018. So this is like, 6 years of back pain. And I threw a couple kicks, landed them, and then got overconfident with it. And he saw it coming, checked it. And when I fractured my ankle, I felt the pain shoot all the way up my sciatic nerve all the way to my back, and like my legs
They just
gave
didn't work
out.
anymore.
Yeah.
Did you fracture it when he checked it?
Yeah, when he
His
checked
check
it.
was the one that
Yeah.
that cracked your
Yeah, so I give him all the credit. I'm like, if he did the right thing,
yeah.
and it broke my ankle, and it's not like he was gonna know that my back was messed up. But once that happened, like
Yeah.
I was done so. And yeah, he got me out of there in the first round, which is not the way I
Yeah.
wanted to go
It
go
wasn't your
in
day.
there. Yeah, it wasn't my day, and it was tough, but I had always been wanting to go to Japan and fight because they're
Well, you
so
did it, man.
respectful. Yeah, they're so respectful. Like going out there, seeing the city, you know.
Is it true what they say that the people in Japan that are watching fights, they're like super quiet and they don't make
Yeah.
any noise? Is it
No,
that way?
they were pretty loud.
Were
I
they?
Yeah, maybe it's more urban now for them to
Okay.
cheer, but I had always thought like they were very, like I had seen like in Pride, like they're very like very reserved when it comes to
Yeah.
how they cheer versus like Americans.
Like, "Wah!"
Yeah, fuck him up, do them, put them in that thing.
Hurry up, you pussy.
Yeah, yeah. So they don't really do any of that.
Yeah. It
But yeah,
was a
they
cool
were pretty.
experience, sounds like.
Yeah, it was a cool experience.
Yeah.
I don't regret nothing.
And
Uh,
did you guys fly back like a couple of days after the fight
yeah,
or the next day?
yeah. Yeah, so I didn't know I fractured my ankle, and the next day I'm like going everywhere to get souvenirs and stuff for my friends
Oh,
and
cool.
family back home. And then when we got back to the hotel, being out all day, my friend and teammate who went out there with me, it was just me and him. He saw me take off my shoe. He's like, "Bro, what happened to your foot?" And my foot was massive. I was like, "Oh
and like
shoot, I
30
didn't even
and like
realize."
30 different colors too, right?
Yeah, it's all my legs all purple, and then the lines on my
Jesus.
socks were were there, like the sock was compressing my leg. And yeah, when I came back, I went to the hospital, and yeah, they're like, "Oh, you fractured your ankle."
Did you
So
have to put it in a cast or they just told you to take some weight off of it? Did you put you in a boot?
they put me in a boot,
Hmm.
and I was in it for like a couple weeks, and then they were like, "Oh, it's heal on its own." They put me in physical therapy for my ankle, and then while they were doing, with insurance, it took forever for them to finally check my back. And then when they checked my back, they're like, "Oh, you got
You got a pinched
problems.
nerve?
You got something in the lumbar stenosis, and like the channels where the nerves go is like kind of narrowing, so it's putting pressure on the nerves."
I had that in my upper back,
Oh, okay.
and they had to take the disc out and put a you know a fusion,
Yeah.
and so they take the disc out, and then they put like this like a sponge material
Yeah.
and where the disc goes, and then they put a plate of steel on top of that and a couple of screws to hold it in place,
Uh-huh.
and then with time and a little pieces of your bones in there from what they took out the disc, and then with time it'll fuse together and it'll fuse it.
Okay.
That's how they fixed my upper thing. But I know now there's a lot more advanced ways of fixing it. So
Yeah.
especially for somebody that does MMA, I'm sure there's a kind of a procedure. Have you looked into getting that fixed, or you're still kind of wondering what to do?
Well, I can't afford the stem cells, which is something that I want to do, because I've seen that it does great results on, and then it's like a trip to Mexico, but it's like
Yeah.
20 racks.
Oh
So
shit.
I'd have to already be in the UFC and making those kind of checks, and then getting myself taken care of.
In
So,
the meantime, how's your back? How are you
oh,
dealing
it's
with it?
good. Just I've been doing physical therapy. since March, and I'm recovering and started training again. I'm not going like I'm in fight camp type of training, but I'm gradually getting everything back.
Yeah.
And the pain that I had for 6 years straight, like all day, every day, especially like waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night was rough. And now I don't have any pain.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's gone. But yeah, like if it's a thing that's in a I do a lot of maintenance on it and try to maintain it so that the pain don't come back. But if it's something that stem cells will help out with, then that's definitely something I want to do.
Yeah. I hope you can find a way to get that done because I
Yeah.
heard people that have tried this that it works really well.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you do for avoiding the pain? Like when you say maintenance, do you mean like stretching exercises
Yeah.
or working on your inner core, or how do you what are the stuff that you use to kind of control the pain?
So I'm trying to strengthen where I'm weak.
Hmm.
So like, core is a big reason why I had back problems.
Yeah,
So strengthening my
your
core,
legs, your
my
quads.
legs, everything. Everything's connected. So like kind of isolating and kind of figuring out, oh, where am I weak, and starting to work on those things. And I recently did my personal training certification.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because that I was working security up until what, like June, and then after that I was like, the I could have really progressed in the industry, but I was like, I'll be working like at a bodyguarding like a
Yeah.
celebrity house or business person. It's like whenever they go, like I'm gonna have to go travel. And I kind of thought like how my life would play out like that. And I was like, won't be home whenever. I'll just leave at the drop of a dime. The
Plus
money
also,
will be good,
yeah.
but
Plus also, if something does happen to the person you're protecting, you have to get into an altercation,
yeah,
and street fights are usually not fair. There's no ref to
yeah,
stop it or anything,
yeah.
and you get really hurt.
Yeah, when you're talking high profile people, is
Yeah.
more violence,
Yeah.
more well trained people
So I'm glad
sent
you're
to
kind of
do the
pushing away
job.
from that because I
Yeah.
think you're on the right track, going into physical training,
Yeah, personal well, I
personal
got
personal
my
trainer.
my license in personal training,
Hmm.
but my expertise is self-defense,
Nice.
so I know how to teach self-defense in all different styles, in when it comes to the grappling, submissions,
Man, if you can
wrestling.
incorporate both those things to people that are willing to pay for learning that, I think that would be a good gig for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just starting out my business and working on it. Usually, the end of the year, people are saving for the holidays, and in this economy, a lot of people are scraping by. So, right now is not like the best time of year to start a business, but I'm hopeful when the year starts, then the new year starts, people are getting into that mindset like, oh, I need to make a change,
Yeah,
and something that I think everybody should have is self-defense techniques,
yeah,
or
it's important.
self-defense. Yeah, because it might save your life,
Yeah,
swimming too. Like you don't want to drown because you don't know how to swim.
right. And plus, also, if even if you never use it, it's good to know you have it,
Yeah,
and it makes you self aware and makes you feel confident that you're going to be able to at least have a chance.
yeah,
Because if you're always living scared, thinking somebody's gonna jump you or do something to you, and you don't have any tools to protect yourself, then you're gonna live a more scared life, and that's not good.
yeah.
You need your self confidence.
Yeah, the experience I got in security is really good because I was in a lot of confrontations,
Hmm.
and our job was to like de-escalate
Yeah,
people. So I always was like had to be on an even keel because I knew, like, I know how to do things that other people don't do, and it's very, people would think like, oh, he walks around like he beat anybody up, and not to say that there's not people like that, but the way I carry myself is very like calm because I understand like what I'm capable of.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
you
most
know
most people that know how to fight, they're actually pretty calm people.
yeah,
That's the last resort.
yeah.
But then when they fight, they kick your ass and it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, once I got my license, my
Yeah.
amateur license, they told me like you're considered a weapon now.
So
Like legally. So if you beat
so
people up
de-escalate.
on the street, so yeah, I had to de-escalate, and there was a lot of times, even times that I had every right to go hands on. I didn't because I'm like, why do I need to do that?
Yeah, it's always, for everybody that's listening, it's always better to walk away instead of confronting, because
Yeah.
best case scenario, you beat that person up, right?
Hmm.
Hopefully, you don't kill him by making him hit his head on a piece of concrete or something. And then now
Yeah.
what? Now you're gonna go to trial for killing somebody.
Yeah.
Um, you beat him up. Okay, now you're gonna be walking around for the next month, 3 months, thinking he's gonna jump you or his friends are gonna jump you. That's not a way to do it. So it's
Yeah.
always best, like you said, to de-escalate and just, you know what, let's move
Yeah.
on. Let's live another day, and it's not worth it.
Yeah. No, I had a couple situations where people were like were gonna come at me, and I was in my head in that split second. I'm like thinking of different ways it could go out, and I'm like none of them are beneficial to me. What the worst one is that I mean not the worst one, but kind of to me is bite your tongue.
Yeah,
And it's kind of the hardest one at the moment
it's
because
just words.
like what you're capable of, and like I said, these people came at me like they wanted to fight me. One of them even swung at me or like made the motion like he was gonna start punching
You're
me.
like,
So
dude, you don't want to do that.
yeah, and where I train at West Coast, we have a lot of law enforcement
Uh huh.
and first responders, and they're like when I told them the story, they're like, bro, you should you could have gone hands on. I'm like.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, for what? Like, I wouldn't find it an accomplishment or like brag about
Right.
beating up some dumb guy that wanted to get ballsy and didn't know who he was messing with, you know?
Also, another thing for people that's listening, if you think you're all ballsy and shit like that, you never know who you're gonna run into.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that look very unintimidating, and they'll kick your ass. They'll
yeah.
they'll they'll choke you. They'll knock you out.
My best victories, like when it came to fighting on the streets,
Uh huh.
were the fights that I won up here,
Yeah.
and not the ones that I won
The
with
mental fights.
yeah. Like and those will always be my big victories. My first uh shift working security was for a New Year's Eve party at a bar,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember this dude was gonna beat up his chick, like, and he looked like he was coked out or on like Adderall or something. He was intense, and he smelled like straight booze. Big guy, like maybe 240 pounds,
Damn.
like 6'1", 6'2", and he was like, "Tom, I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna beat you up," and just looking at it intense, and it's loud in there, but I could still
You
hear
can still
like
hear
what
it.
he was saying. And I told him like, "Hey man, you're out." I'm like, "She's gonna stay, you're out." And then he goes, comes at me like, "Well, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Hey dude, like,
Please don't.
no, I was thinking because I was hurt at the time.
Oh,
I had like a torn ligament in my knee, so I'm like, okay, well, how am I gonna do this? Thinking head on, I'm gonna have to chop him down, get him towards like this booth, and then just start going to town on him.
yeah.
And he came at me and stood up to me. I'm like, go. And we locked it. It's that intense moment that only you and that person like
Yeah.
really know what
That
goes
switch
on.
goes off.
Yeah, and you look each other in the eye and you're like, how about it are you?
It's like, are you really
Are
want to
you
go
ready?
into this? Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, and walked away. And I was like,
Good.
holy shit, that worked. I'm like, I thought I was gonna have a bad night. I got a bum knee,
Yeah.
and this is my first night working
Oh,
security. I don't know
he saw the
how
killer eye.
yeah, he was
And you were
like,
ready. You were ready to go,
yeah, I
right?
was
You were
ready to
saying,
go.
okay, I don't want to. You put me in a situation, and this is my look that I'm giving you. This is it. This is your one chance to get out of it, and he chose to get out, which is good.
Yeah,
You beat him in the mind game.
yeah,
That's cool, man.
yeah. So yeah,
Does does your trainer that you have now, is he the trainer that you had ever since you started your career, or is this somebody that you just met recently?
no, so he's the owner and operator of Knuckleheads Boxing. He was owner and operator when I started training, but I was training with my freshman coach that was running the MMA program there.
At the Knucklehead
And
Gym?
yeah, at the Knuckleheads gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with him for about 5 or 6 years, and we had a falling out. Was pretty bad falling out. So that's when I moved to Huntington Beach for a bit. I moved back when my grandfather got sick, and I was like, "Oh, where am I gonna train at?"
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, a fight had lined up for me, and this promotion that I was with up until recently was like, "Hey, do you want to take this fight?" They had offered me already, and I'm like, once. No, yeah, they might hit me back up. This is number two. They're not gonna hit me back up a third time. I wanted to fight with them. They paid well regionally,
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it was like 21 days notice, and it was like right after Easter, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. It was a holiday, but it was like right when everybody's grubbing. And I was like, man, all right, well, I got to take this fight. So I went to the Knuckleheads coach, Coach Haas, and I was like, hey, coach, I'm not training with so and so anymore. I moved to Huntington Beach. Kind of give him the rundown on what I was going through. And I'm like, but I want to fight. And I was like, I would really appreciate it if you would let me, train here. And he was like, yeah.
Cool.
I would love to take you on as one of my fighters.
Nice.
And like I said, I was always around him because he was the operator of the gym. So so he always saw me, but we didn't like really start to work until like 2016 when I moved back.
Cool.
Yeah.
And does your trainer also take charge of your diet?
No, my lady does.
Your your
Yeah,
your
she
girl
does
does
the
that for you?
nutrition. Yeah.
She goes in and does all the finding out what's good for you, what helps you and stuff like that?
Yeah, she went to the Cordon Bleu.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she went to the culinary school out in Pasadena.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
One of my nieces graduated from that school too.
oh, really?
Yeah, she went to that school and she's really good chef, really good cook.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they get down. I would take her. She didn't even have her license yet, so I would drive her down to, or she would take the train a lot, but I ended up driving her down, and then I would go there, train for the 3 4 hours that she
Hmm.
would
Was there a
she would be
gym that was
there.
there close by?
No, I wouldn't even train at the gym. I would run
Oh,
like
you just go out in the
for an
streets and
hour,
run.
and then shadow box, or like do my own workout in a park or something.
That's cool.
But yeah, I would make the time fly by. I would maybe draw on the car sometimes, but when she got out of school, she would bring me whatever she made, and
Nice.
it was always bomb stuff. Some of the best food I've ever had
That's
was when
cool.
she came out of culinary school.
So, and to an MMA fighter like yourself that was trying to keep in shape, what's is there like a certain type of food that that you eat more of, like proteins, like meats, or is it more like more carbs, or what kind of a diet do you have? Do you know?
Yeah, so mostly protein. I try to stay away from carbs because I have to be like pretty lean. I mean, like healthy carbs like broccoli, and I have some rice, having vegetables, fruit. Supplements too are pretty important, and my lady knows all that stuff. She studies it, so she went to culinary school, and then
Nice.
when I was gonna drop down to flyweight, which is 125,
Hmm.
when the amateur organization made that weight class, she helped me cut that weight. So she's been cooking for fighters since then.
Oh wow.
And she even cooked for Maidana when he fought Mayweather,
Oh wow.
because he was training out here at Robert Garcia's gym. So yeah, she
Does your
and
wife actually prepare the meals, or does she just tell them what to eat?
no, she prepares the
Oh
meals.
wow.
Yeah, she came out on that special before too.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah.
When they were doing the background
Well,
on
I don't know if
the
it's an
Maidana
all
fight?
access, yeah, like on HBO,
Yeah.
or the whatever channel it was on.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, she came out of it, so I was very proud of
What's your wife's name?
Alexandra. Her name's
Alexandria.
Alexandra.
Well,
Yeah,
way to go,
yeah.
Alexandria.
I love you, babe.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so the nutrition part is it do you eat all three meals in the day, or do you fast in the morning, or what is your eating routine? Or is it different when you're training for a fight versus when you're just trying to maintain and keep a
Yeah.
high impact?
Yeah, so I told my lady almost 3 weeks ago, I'm like, I want to start eating like I'm in camp.
Okay.
Like so
Like training for a
so I
fight.
gave her, yeah, so the diet like kind of tapers down as it goes. So I was like, I want to eat like I'm 3 weeks out from a fight.
Wow.
So that's like, I could still have the carbs and some of the sugars and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's mostly all healthy and fueling myself for these training sessions. And I've been doing that for almost 3 weeks, and we haven't eaten out.
Yeah. Do you eat the three meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Or you do four meals or do you do two meals?
Sometimes I'll do two or three depending on the day and like how intense training is.
When you do two, which meal do you skip?
I skip breakfast.
Breakfast?
I won't break fast till like um 3 p.m., which is not good because like the night before I'll try to do 16 hours, so the later I eat, the
The sooner you can eat.
the later in the afternoon I'll eat, to the
Yeah.
next day to be able to make that 16-hour fast.
And when do you feel better physically with energy and stamina and stuff for your fights? Is it when you have the three meals or when you have just the two meals with the fasting in the morning? Where do you feel
Um
yourself like sharper mentally and energy and stuff?
Definitely when I have three,
Three
I
gives you
believe,
more
yeah.
fuel
Yeah, well, if I start earlier, like, I'll have breakfast kind of fuel me through the
through the workout.
through the workout, because sometimes I'll have like, breakfast like at 8, 9, and then I'll train like at 11, 12. So I already have, some energy, some fuel,
Yeah.
and then I burn it then, and then, eat after that, and then train again, eat after that. So that makes me feel good, especially on the intense days. But on the days I don't really train too heavy, I'm like I'm not burning so many calories. So then,
So for getting ready for a fight, you usually have the three meals, the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. Is do you keep it the same ratio as far as protein and carbs when you're doing that? Like, do you is it like eggs and bacon and protein in the morning also?
yeah.
And
Yeah, like the day of my fight is like all my breakfast is always the same.
what is it?
It's a ribeye steak.
Nice.
It's like 3 or 4 eggs, toast, and what else? Oh, and hash browns.
Half a toast or full toast?
Full toast,
Full toast.
but
So you
toast and
getting your
butter,
carbs through that.
get the good fat in
Hmm.
me, and yeah, so
And then the eggs and the steak gives you the protein.
yeah,
And what
yeah,
was the other thing you ate?
and hash
And
browns.
hash browns.
Yeah,
Because those are just delicious.
some starch. Yeah, 'cause those are just bomb.
Little ketchup on it or no
Yeah,
ketchup?
yeah, ketchup on it.
Right on, man.
Yeah,
That's cool. Well, Michael, I want to appreciate you spending some time and talking about your up and coming. So, thank you for being a guest
yeah.
today. And then you have doors open anytime you want to talk about anything.
All right, cool.
People already know who you are, what your upbringing
Sweet.
was, and so if you ever want to come back and talk about more nutrition, more life lessons or whatever, you have an open invitation.
All right, sweet. Sounds good. It
Well,
was good to be here, and thank you for the opportunity. As I like your platform, I like your show. I watched some episodes before I came here,
cool.
and got to kind of know who you are, where you come from. So and I like the topics that you're able to talk about, and your perspective. So I
Well, I
appreciate you having me.
appreciate you too. So thank
All
you for
right,
coming,
all
and
right,
we'll see you next time.
all right. Thank you.